Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jensen and welcome to another episode of Tohsty Conversations. So today I wanted to make a video on this pretty interesting topic that I've sort of stumbled upon by listening to Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan Experience. And it's about getting out of your own way. So yeah, let's talk about that. So I've listened to Joe Rogan and his podcast for quite a bit now. There's a lot of interesting fellows, and he's not a traditional academic, but definitely curious enough to ask people who have a high level of knowledge on certain topics and discuss things on a very intellectual level. So I find that quite interesting. But in this podcast, he talked about getting out of your own way with Robert Downey Jr. And I found that very interesting, and the conversation was quite insightful, I'd say. And the reason why I found it insightful is because they're both sort of in their 50s, and Robert Downey Jr. has achieved so much in his career, and Joe Rogan has, he has achieved so much in his career with Spotify, with YouTube, with UFC, and there's just a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge behind what they say. And so hearing them say get out of your own way, that's like 70% of what it takes to achieve anything in your life. But what does that really mean? What does it mean to get out of your own way? So how I internalize or how I interpret this quote is that oftentimes we limit or shell ourselves from a potential opportunity of what could be. I think a lot of us struggle with this. Oftentimes we do things that we're actually not supposed to, whilst knowing that we're not supposed to do it, instead of doing things that would make us feel better or make us feel more fulfilled. But a lot of us know it, so knowing that as a statement of fact is cool and all, but why is it that we actually do it? Or why is it that we actually don't do the things that we're supposed to do? Well, I don't really have an answer to that, because it's something that I struggle with too. I think a lot of us do struggle with that too. But I've been trying to listen to a lot more podcasts, a lot more educational content to help me through this tough time. Or when I ever do face something similar, are there ways that I can go about handling the situation as best I can? But what I can tell you is the method that I'm starting to implement in my life that has helped me on several occasions figure out why I don't do the things that I do and how I can help myself get out of my own way. So what I actually do is I have a 3-step questioning process to myself. So the first question would be, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now? And the second question would be, why is it that I'm not doing it? And the third question would be, what's wrong? And the reason why I structure my questions that way is because the first question invokes an answer. So to kickstart a negotiation with myself with a good, clear yes or no answer. So the second question is to kickstart a deeper thinking process to help me think through why is it actually that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and really not to invoke an answer at all. And the last question is to help me reflect, think, utilize that deeper thinking process from the previous question and to invoke a truthful answer, because ultimately if we're not being truthful to ourselves, there's really no point in having that conversation. So having that So going through this whole process gives me a different perspective, and that helps me with this negotiation process. And this negotiation process helps me think a bit more clearly, clear the fog in my mind, and ultimately helps me get out of my own way. And I know this technique isn't always going to work 100% of the time, because we're very emotional beings, and if we're not doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, we oftentimes wouldn't even want to go through this whole process because it's such a tiresome process of negotiating with yourself. But I feel like this process is worth a shot, because progressing that 1%, or just acknowledging your own struggles and knowing what's wrong oftentimes is enough to help us out of that rut and progress even that 0.5% or that 1%, which is better than 0. So let me know what it means for you to get out of your own way, and what are the techniques that you utilize. Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.